I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
The sleeper has awakened!
Podcasting from somewhere in Central Florida.
Where is the bloody rum?
I see you cried knifey spoony before.
Let's drink some rum.
Rum is the power, rum is the key, rum is the thing that will set us free. Rum,
And nerdy.
rum, ahoy! Rum,
And nerdy.
Sit back, relax, remember to turn off your cell phones. For the next hour, let me be your Candy Crush.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rum and Nerdy. I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrick.
And we have episode 4.17, Yum Yum Deviled Eggs.
What are we talking about this week, Greg?
You know it, buddy. We're finally talking about Fallout, the TV show.
How long has it been out? Because we say finally. I don't think it's been out for that long.
Oh, like a month.
Really?
By the time this airs, yeah.
Well, then we're staying on top of things like we usually do.
You know what? I think it's been out enough that we don't have to spoiler alert. Or should we spoiler alert?
We should probably spoiler alert, because there's a lot of people that, even this weekend when I talked to people, they had no idea what it was. I'm like, oh, it's on Prime. You haven't been blasted by the algorithm yet?
Well, here you go.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Okay, you've been warned. You can't bitch at us later. You ever wondered, like, does this, like, people like, oh, well, I'm going to have to come back to this episode, and then they never do?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, or I don't think they do. I think they just plow right through it. Just listen. Spoil away.
Fuck it. Okay, well, you've been warned, so here you go. First off, amazing fucking show. All kinds of Easter eggs. It doesn't take place in any of the game's specific storyline.
Which is something really, I want to lay this out here right off the bat, because you've played the games before, right?
I have. Most of them.
I have not. So I went into this cold. So for the casual, non-gaming, like...
And you didn't need to.
Here's a television. You don't need to at all. Because there are several friends of ours came to me and said, hey, I wanted to watch it, but I've never played the games. Doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all.
So the interesting thing is, and you know, just skipping around a little, we'll start with the fact that, obviously there are a vast number of vaults around, and we'll kind of get into how they develop. But the interesting thing is, throughout all of the games, they all have a different story. You know, and they're all a different experiment. And these games
just, higher overall arching vision on what this is. So the original Fallout game came out in 97. It was a role-playing game, so it was 97. Yeah. Fallout 2, 98. Fallout Tactics, Brotherhood of Steel, 2001. And then 2004, for Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, they became action role-playing games, which is sort of what you know them as today.
Yeah.
And then you have Fallout 3.
That's where I started.
Yep. New Vegas, Old World Blues, Fallout Shelter, Fallout 4, 4 VR, 76 Nuclear Winters, 76 Wastelanders, Fallout 76 Steel Rain. Like there's been a lot of games.
So just kind of working backwards. So Fallout 76, when that came out, it was pretty panned. A lot of people had a lot of problems with it. It just wasn't built out enough. There wasn't enough story, and it felt like all you kind of did is go around and just kind of kill roaches and stuff.
This is the Fallout 76, the 2018 Wastelands one.
So yes, last weekend I started playing it again. Reloaded it. Actually, I had bought it on Xbox, and I primarily play on the PlayStation 5. So, but they had it for the PlayStation Plus. You could buy it for $8. So I just freaking rebought it.
There you
go. Instead of switching game consoles and all that stuff. So, and so I started from scratch. The mechanics of it, pretty playable and all that stuff, but the story and the missions way more robust than they were when they came out.
Do we want to give an overview of what the universe is?
Yeah. So, do you have some pulled up, or do you want me to go with it?
You can go with it.
So generally, everything takes place in kind of that view of the 50s that you had, or view of the future they had from the 50s. Over stylized cars and vehicles and all that stuff. Very, very much that world of the 1950s.
An alternate past. It's kind of a futuristic.
Well, it's the future from an alternate past, yes.
Well, you're playing. Yeah, I'm saying it's the past is an alternate past. It's like an alternate timeline. So it's like, hey, it's the 50s and we have these cool cars, but I also have a computer on my wrist.
Yeah, but it's also like 2050 or 2020 something. No. Yeah, maybe it was like 2025. Anyway, it takes place after now.
Yeah.
But it's stylized the way we imagine the future from the 50s.
Yeah.
So very like kind of George Jetson and all that kind of shit. So so it's very, very interesting the way it's stylized. And basically, Vault Tech, this big company, and all these mega companies kind of say, yeah, we're building all these vaults. Nuclear war is imminent, blah, blah, blah. You got to buy these shelters. And it's interesting because the corporations all kind of get together and they say, hey, we're going to do, we can do a vault for any occasion. We can just kind of think up things to do as we basically wait out the nuclear winter to, come back up to the surface and make the ideal society in our own image. The interesting part is that all these, and they kind of touch on it towards the end, all of these companies were like, oh, we could do a vault like this, and we can do a vault like that.
Well, and this is the television show
yes.
primarily we're talking about. Yeah. The universe in general is you're now playing in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and you have all of these vault dwellers.
Yes.
And
with all that, for example, Fallout 76 was basically named after the tricentennial of the United States. And the whole point of that was that they were going to be the first vault that came. That's in the game Fallout 76. You were the first ones up to kind of like, hey, we're going to go back up and start getting the Earth ready for people to live in. But of course, that never works out. In the TV show, you're in Vault 33, which is part of a 31, 32, 33. We learn later all the leadership from Vault Tech are all basically cryogenically sleeping in 31.
Oh, that's a hardcore spoiler.
Yeah. And, we warned everybody, so fuck you. So 32 and 33 were basically supposed to just propagate each other as breeding stock so that once 31 woke up, they could breed the smartest, most competitive people to kind of go out. And then something happened in 32. They're pretty much wiped out. And they kind of go in and they explain all that stuff. But ultimately, they're attacked from the outside. We'll kind of go into some of that stuff, but it's really interesting because at the end, later in the episodes, you realize about all these different vaults and how they got some of their things. Now, tie that back to all of the lore from all of the games. You can periodically, you would go in the game and in any of the iterations of the game, and you might not know this, you would be able to go into these computers and hack in and get reports about the vaults and what was going on in different experiments. So that is actually part of canon for this world. They've been telling the story of all these different vaults and the fucked up things that happened in the vaults for years.
Yeah.
So
and this is hundreds of years we're talking about. This is generations have lived in these vaults.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think in this one it's about 200 years after the war.
Yeah, it's about 200 years. And the thing that's interesting is that life didn't stop on the surface. Everybody in the vaults was under the impression that, nuclear war was going to wipe out everything, and it didn't. So there are all of these different societies and tribes and people living above ground, and the people in the vaults have no idea.
Yeah.
It's really kind of fascinating to see that dynamic, the dynamic between the people in the vaults, the people not in the vaults, the way they don't like each other,
yeah,
the way they interact. It's crazy.
And as a generality, there's regular humans. Most of them, obviously, as you would expect, there's no education systems, any of that stuff. So a majority of the surface dwellers are just, very sick, unhealthy people. And then
wasteland barbarians.
Yeah. And Wastelanders. And then the extreme of that is humans that have been affected by the radiation in negative ways, and they're called ghouls. They basically are the Walking Dead. And it's interesting how they handle this, because instead of zombies, they're themselves, but if they are not doing the regiment of different medications and chemicals and cocktails, then they will go what they refer to as feral.
Yeah.
Which, and then they're kind of incoherent and rambling and attack.
True zombies. Now, I feel like we're going to get into more detail on that.
Yeah.
But it seems like the TV show is pushing it into a direction where the ghouls are people that took a very specific cocktail to kind of make themselves immortal.
It prevents them from going feral. It doesn't make them immortal. The fact that they have become ghoul has made them live longer.
Yeah, but like there was the one guy that had the broken foot. Just the television show. And the one crazy doctor dude mixed up, I got a potion that'll fix that foot. And he gave it to him, and his foot fixed itself.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, man, this is great. But, now I got to look out for the radiation. And he's like, don't have to look out for that anymore. And then later on in the episode where he was shot and in the neck and like pulled the arrow out of his neck, he's like, oh, why am I not dying? Why am I not dead? And they're like, oh, crap, you're a ghoul now.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, was that part of this chemical? And one of the Vault-Tec guys was hinting at it, like almost like an immortality serum thing.
Well, but here's the thing. It has to be maintained. Because if you look at the main ghoul cowboy guy.
It absolutely does. I'm just saying it wasn't in the television show, those specific ghouls are not radiation victims from the war. They're like people that were using this experimental drug.
Yeah, but ultimately, in the overall arc of the lexicon, it all kind of leans down that path.
Yeah.
You are now a child of the chemistry and the radiation, and you just have to deal with that. So even so, the main character, Lucy, now Lucy, when she finally gets at there at the end of that revelation, that the ghoul that's chained up at the end of the table is her mom.
Yep.
And she's basically wasted. She's beyond feral, wasted away. And it's that if you don't do the maintenance, you will rot and go away. You just have to constantly have this chemical cocktail to maintain your undeadness. But there's, so it's kind of funny. Earlier in the series of games, the ghouls were much more closer to zombies, and they have slowly introduced more and more of the ghouls of being able to maintain their intelligence and
memories of the
memory
past
and cognitive abilities, so on and so forth. So it's kind of evolved as the story has gone on. It's evolved more into this. And I do want to correct one other thing. There's the wastelanders and the surface dwellers and all that stuff. But as we also see from, I'm trying to remember the character's name, the doctor that shoots the thing in his neck and then they cut off his head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There was, what was the name of their crazy, not town. He came from another group of scientists that were still working above ground and still.
Yeah. So basically, there is, and this is true. Like, and I know in Fallout 4, there was a whole sect that was the scientists that lived in this secret underground thing where they were doing experiments and they knew everything. And it was all the Vault-Tec people that were kind of in charge of that. But and again, as long as we're talking about different sects, okay. So you have sect, not sex.
Yeah.
You've got all these surface dweller, blah blah blah. There's also the what's the guys in the suits?
Oh, the Brotherhood of Steel?
Brotherhood of Steel, yeah. So the Brotherhood, they've got the Brotherhood. Their whole shtick is they're running around getting all of the pre-war technology and hoarding it because they think that they're the only ones responsible enough to handle it. And then all the other,
and that's basically almost what became of the military, because it sounds like the big metal suit things that they wear for fighting, like those were used by the military prior to the nuclear apocalypse. Yeah,
but at the same time, it almost becomes like a religious extremist thing.
No, it became that.
Yeah.
I'm saying they have the helicopter dropship things.
Yeah.
They have the blimps. They have guns. They have the armor. They They appear to be based off of an old Air Force base, so it's almost like the remnants of the military after the war. That's what they became, is a religious.
I don't remember all the story, but
robot cult.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit more involved in that. But yes, in the games, you can, every once in a while, and out in the world randomly, you'll come to a suit of armor, and there are a few different variations of them.
Mm-hmm.
But all very badass and fun.
Nice. Very
Either
nice.
way, so talking about the world, we've spent the last 15 minutes just kind of setting up this place they storytell in.
Yeah.
And again, it's great because they can pump out game after game and just tell a new story of a vault and how that questionable experiment that Vault-Tec had done to those people had affected if they made it to the surface, if they made it at all, and how they interact with the surface if that's what they do. So
now in the in each one of the games, do you start off in a vault?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's all, as far as I remember, but it's all varying states of I want to say in Fallout 4, I think when you wake up, you were in cryo sleep.
Yeah.
And you'd completely lost a lot of your memory, which apparently that's a thing because they do that a bit of other storytelling.
For long cryo sleep or just cryo sleep in general?
I think it's long. And you basically come out and you're trying to remember everything, and then slowly you kind of figure out where you fit into everything. And
the stories in the television show, you're, 200 years? It's been 200 years since the war? Something like that?
Yeah.
So.
And then Fallout 76, I think was it wasn't as long. I want to say it's, I don't know, 50 years or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's the game in 76, which is on the front of my mind because I just started it, is, the vault, you wake up and everybody's already gone without you up to the surface to go explore.
Jerks.
And it's officially Reclamation Day.
Oh, okay.
So this is it. Oh, and that one takes place in Appalachia. Appalachia, sorry. The Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, I know. You just said it funny.
I was kind of hiccuping at the same time I was saying it. So whatever.
Appalachia.
And it's funny, the expansion that you get is Atlantic City. And Fallout 4, the expansion is Las Vegas.
Yeah. Which appears to be showing up in season 2.
Yep.
The show has been picked up.
Oh, no doubt. It's been wildly popular.
Lots of wildly popular things don't get picked up, but thankfully this one was.
Yeah.
Season 2 was announced. It is all the rage. It's been good.
No, it's cool.
And there's
really well done.
There's some really big names in this.
The random
show too.
The random cameos for people you're isn't Michael Rappaport in that, he was the guy, you know who I'm talking about, the comedian actor Michael Rappaport?
Yeah.
He was the guy
he was two guys.
Was he two? I remember he was Titan when he got attacked by the bear thing and they took off his helmet and he's like, go get help, they're gonna hang you for this, and is basically demanding help and also telling him, the guy, that they're going to kill him. And of course the guy lets him die.
Yeah.
But he was that brief thing.
Yeah, he was there. Matt Berry, he was in What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, he was the voice of Mr. Handy. And perfect.
Well, he's also the actor that gave his voice to Mr. Handy.
Yeah. Yeah, in the flashback he was friends with Cooper Howard, who was the ghoul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were a handful of other just random comedians, random actors, random people that are just, oh wow, you have this crazy little bit part here. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Hey, real fast, I'm going to pop through. I've got some random Easter eggs.
Okay.
First, it's notable our entry. The music for the show was, early 20th century pop music. And the show uses a lot of that too. So that's kind of fun. The whole I don't want to set the world on fire and so forth.
Yeah.
The Enclave, which was I think where the scientists were at the beginning, the guy that did the thing and he put it in his neck.
Yeah. The Enclave, that's the fancy fancy thing that we couldn't remember the name of earlier.
Yeah.
And now we know.
Yeah. So that's kind of another one of those factions. It kind of mentioned them, which is really interesting because a couple things in there. The turret that when the scientists are trying to leave and it had the little screen that comes up and says, "Please remain calm."
Yeah.
Which was a throwback from I think Fallout 3, which is kind of funny. There's a security checkpoint when they're there, and you see a gurney go by with a hand sticking out of it. It looks like a super mutant.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned the dog. The dog's name was Dogmeat, which is when you get a dog in the game in Fallout 4, the dog's name was Dogmeat.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a fun name for a dog.
Shit like that. Let's see. The scene where she's in the grocery store where they've got the ghouls to get the ghoul, like he's going to sell them to her for the chemical he needs. That store was called Super Duper Mart, which was the name of the game, which is a small thing, but it's funny.
Yeah, and truthfully, I don't know if that's less, or I don't know if that's as much in. Well, no, I guess it would be just a video game Easter egg because it's just, hey, this is the universe that we live in.
I'm talking about like Easter eggs back to things you see.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. One thing I thought was really funny was I'm looking at my notes here. The California flag. Normally it's got the bear on it with the white background. Yeah, like it's got
two-headed bear.
Yeah, two-headed bear is fun. When Norm's trying to unravel the secrets, or whatever, he's got to hack into the terminal.
Yep. And
the different characters in the chroma key green screen thing like that, and what he's got to do to hack into that is exactly like what it is in the game. Like, so that was fun. Fun fact. At the final episode when Hank or whatever, the overseer, Kyle MacLachlan guy, and he has to enter in his access code.
Mm-hmm.
The access code that he puts in is 10/10/97, which is the release date for the first the first game.
Nice.
Yeah, little things like that. Those are the big things that I kind of noted.
That's that's fun. There's so many. I mean, from like an art direction standpoint, there are so many little things that tie back. Like even the name of the episode this week with the deviled eggs.
Yeah,
isn't that like the main food stuff of the video game?
It's one of them. Actually, I pulled up a list, which I thought was funny. All of the different all the different kinds of food and things. And so I got a bigger list than I was thinking of from the games, different things, but specifically in the packaged foods.
Yeah.
These are the things that would be sitting on the shelf that you could scavenge from ruins and things like that. And some of this is great, like Blamco mac and cheese. So I thought that was kind of because Blamco makes me think of
Blamco.
That makes me think of the what was the guy that did the Vegematic and there's an infomercial guy that was something like Blamco, but it wasn't Blamco. Brompo Peel.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, it kind of reminded me of that. There was canned dog food is a big thing. Cheesy Poofs. Of course, anybody that's a fan of the game knows about Nuka-Cola and the various variations of Nuka-Cola.
Yep.
Dandy Boy apples. Fancy Lad snack cakes.
Is there any reason why the bottle caps are used as currency?
Yes, actually, they explain it pretty well throughout the lexicon. So it's something they figure, you know what? And there's a conscious conversation about it.
Okay.
There isn't really an easy way to make any more, so inflation won't be a thing.
Oh, okay.
So, and there is actually a whole storyline that I think ties to Las Vegas, where there was a group that figured out how to mass produce bottle caps, and it was basically thwarted But in general,
Society got together and said, "Hey, look, we're not going to let you make more bottle caps."
no, I think it's part of the game. I haven't played the New Vegas one, but I think it's part of that. There's this character that exists there in Las Vegas that I don't know much about the backstory, but I know that it did tie into some counterfeit caps. And as a generality, everybody got together and said, well, every once in a while somebody can go and get some sheet metal and kind of try and hammer them out, but it's so time consuming to fake a bottle cap.
Yeah.
That it's just fuck it, just do bottle caps. But it was like there's a timeline that explains conscious decisions behind the bottle caps.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I want to finish good because some of these are so fucking imitation seafood. Not imitation crab, it's imitation seafood. Instamash, Dandy Boy. Oh, that's all they rated. Just junk food. Some called junk food. Pork and beans, potted meat. Salisbury steak was a thing.
I mean, Salisbury steak is a thing.
No, I mean in the game though.
Oh.
Strawberry, the different kind of bubble gum, cherry bombs, vegetarian ham, watermelon pork, and then there's of course their whatchamacallit, it was their spam. I think it's called scram.
Okay.
And you could eat it's like canned meat. I want to say it's called scram.
I see what they did there.
Yeah. That's some funny shit. And of course the Yum Yum deviled eggs, which they actually in like what's her name is sitting out in the desert with a box of deviled eggs that you would carry around with you.
It's so gross. Just the naivete of people leaving the vaults and going up to a sandy desert to exist is just hilarious.
Well, and in the game, you would go into this completely blown up house. No roof, only one wall remaining, and that one wall will have a cabinet. And when you open the cabinet, will be a 200-year-old box of deviled eggs that you would, I'll eat these. And, kind of crazy.
And disgusting all at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. So, outside of all that, I mean, clearly, like, I played several versions of the game, and again, currently playing. I've got feelings, but
you've got feelings.
I've got feelings about the show. I mean, I've talked a lot about it, but
you have. So what are your feelings? Okay, so me, going in cold, never watched a trailer for it, never played a video game, vaguely familiar with the video games. I've seen you play them. I know of them. I have other friends that have played them. I think the show really stands on its own.
Yeah,
I think it has a great story. I think it has a great universe. I think they do the right amount of placemaking so that people that never played the video games can watch it and not feel lost. But it's enough that people that play the video games feel happy that they pick up on the Easter eggs. They pick up on the little things. I think it does the right amount. It does a good enough job delivering enough to all of the people that may or may not watch it.
Yeah, there's a fine balance between talking down to the fans and explaining it to the newbie people. The new,
and they do it so perfectly.
Yeah, it's the great balance. Totally agree with that. Cast. What are your thoughts on the cast?
I really like the cast. There's not one person that I thought was out of place or I would have changed.
So Walton Goggins. What a show fucking stopper that guy is.
Yeah.
He's the one that plays the Ghoul or Cooper.
Uh-huh.
I think he made the season.
Easily. And I saw I saw an interview clip with him where I think it was the day before he started filming, something like that. He was bitten 5 times by a brown recluse spider in his hotel room.
What?
Yeah. Like he ended up killing it and he took it to the hospital and the doctor's like, "Oh yeah, that's a brown recluse. Really glad you came into the hospital today. You won't lose your leg." Like it was a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are fucking rough.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes,
But God, I'm just looking at his filmography. That guy's career hasn't fucking stopped.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? I'm just scrolling through here on the page. The greatest character actors of all time. See the gallery. You know who the first two are?
Who?
Walter Goggins and David Dashmushin.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So that's
no,
funny.
no, character actors of all time or right now? Because I'd put
it says all time.
All time. Tell me Clint Howard is on that list somewhere.
Well, there's a gallery, so I have to open it. Do we want to take a sidebar and go through this real fast? Because why not?
Probably. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so here we go.
What else are we going to do? Yeah.
Walter Goggins, I think. Deep State.
I believe it's Walton Goggins.
Walton. What did I say, Walter?
Yeah.
Yeah, Walton. And it kind of goes for some of his stuff. Vice Principals, The Hateful Eight. That was a good movie. And then David, I'm still not sure that I think I'm saying it right. Dashmushin.
Sure.
Late Night with the Devil in 23.
Dune.
Ant-Man. He was the in the Suicide Squad. He was the Polka Dot Man. Immoral Compass in 20. Oh, Nick Offerman.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Civil War, long time.
Nick Offerman from your list, not Fallout. He's not in Fallout.
No, these are just character actors.
Yeah. This is Greg's sidebar character actor.
Yeah, the greatest character actors: Sofia Vergara. I don't always say her name wrong. Chasing Pappy. I didn't really see her as a character actress. Bronham Family. Griselda. Robert Patrick. Yeah. He's had some really good roles. Of course, his breakout, I think, was Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Double Dragon, man, he looks like a douche in that. From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. Burial. He was in Perry Mason. Did I just watch Perry Mason? He was in season 2 of the Tom Cruise movie turned into a TV show.
Top Gun.
No, turned into a TV show.
Days of Thunder. I'm just naming Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Turned into...
Oh, that's a TV show that turned into a movie.
A TV show. Anyway, it's a new one like on...
Perry Mason.
Mr.
and Mrs. Smith.
Stop talking.
And Margaret. I don't...
Yeah. I'm closing this out. Just going back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Reacher.
Oh!
Yeah. He was in Reacher. Anyway, he's been in a lot of shit too.
Huh. Okay.
Totally awesome actor. He was also in the Scorpion, that TV show about all those really smart, pensive people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of their handler.
Interesting.
Yeah. Non sequitur, but speaking of that, so talking about one of the shows we developed, Josh, our buddy Josh out in California.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you need to watch the new Perry Mason show on HBO
because of the time frame and
takes place in 1932. And knowing Perry Mason as the various iterations that have happened over the years, it's interesting how I don't know if there's some books or whatever that kind of tie to this, but he starts out as this disgraced, semi-disgraced former Army guy, turns private investigator that works for this attorney, John Lithgow.
Yep.
Who commits suicide, and then he kind of, like, to save the case, he's kind of got to go and take his bar exam. And they pawn off as he's, you don't have to go to law school. Back then, if you apprenticed with somebody, and he's like, I've been apprenticing with this lawyer for the last 3 years before he committed suicide, so I'm going to take the bar exam, and he passes with some help, and that's how Perry Mason became an attorney, and this is his first case.
Oh, interesting.
Really well done. Really, by probably the 4th episode, it totally grabs you. You're like, holy shit. It's really, really getting good. So I recommend it.
Huh. Okay. Well, I mean,
totally non sequitur.
Yeah, absolutely. When did the original Perry Mason come out? 1950 50.
I don't know. I remember growing up, my mom was a huge fan of that show. I remember watching it all through my childhood.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was early 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
1957, Raymond Burr.
There it is.
Yeah, and Barbara Hale. Then there was several movies, kind of a whole lot of movies that came through. And then, of course, the new one is 2020 through 2023. It's only 2 seasons, but I'm sure there was one at the beginning and the end of the pandemic. There was a 1973, 1974. There was the new Perry Masson. Only lasted what appears to be 1 season. And then a lot of movies with Raymond Burr. Raymond Burr, 93, 86, 93, 87, 93, 89. Boy, I wish they'd just go in chronological order. All these are Raymond Burr. And I just remember watching all these with my mom throughout the years.
Huh.
Dozens and dozens of Perry Mason movies.
Huh.
Yeah. A lot of TV movies. Perry Mason, 1988, The Case of the Lady in the Lake.
Delivering Excalibur.
That's where I was going to go with it. Ladies distributing swords, like laying in water, distributing swords. There's no basis for government. Totally screwed that up, but
a little bit, yeah.
But only a little bit.
Yeah, not. It wasn't too bad. I've heard worse. People screw up Monty Python quotes all the time.
Yeah,
You're in good company.
That happens. You know what? I just realized.
What?
We're 36 minutes into this episode, and we have not talked about or consumed rum.
Yeah, what the hell?
What the hell?
What
Should
was
I
up?
pick?
Yeah. What do we have back there on the rum shelf, Greg? I see.
It's a little picked through. It's almost time to go buy some.
I know, right? Although I almost feel like if we hold out long enough, somebody will just show up and bring us rum, which is also good. Ooh, what do you got there? This is
This was from a few weeks back. We're gonna work on it. The Big Cypress Distillery Hell's Bay Rum. I kind of remember. This is Miami Craft Spirit. I kind of remember we liked it.
I remember liking this as well. Well, it was
nice squeak. Bad.
Squeaky, but
Boink.
very anticlimactic on the popping.
Yeah. So we started our evening at a TEA mixer at the
American Social.
Yeah, American Social. And
the old Bar Louie for you hardcore Central Florida TEA patrons.
Yeah, old school. OG, motherfucker. Anyway, one of our friends there, Diego, real name, I didn't make it up. He goes, that's his board name. He's a pretty cool guy.
Was this Splash of Coker?
I don't remember. Probably. I actually kind of think.
Feels like it.
Yeah. Anyway, Diego was recently kicking off a project in like Colombia or somewhere in South America. And one night they went out drinking rum, and he's more of a gin guy. But people would hand him stuff and goes, "Yep, this smells and tastes like rum, I guess." But he was very thoughtful. Pause for Foley. It says it right here in the script. Pause for Foley.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Diego was very generous, and he brought back a bottle of rum. And so he was going to give it to me to bring home tonight, and I'm like, dude, just come over and be a guest on the podcast and tell us the story about your rum tasting.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I think
I say that like we hadn't already had the conversation.
Yeah. You were having a fun reaction to this. Is this not as good as you thought it was?
Not as good as I remember.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't remember being good.
Interesting. Anyway, so as we talked about last week, we have a couple episodes to pre-record when we get to May. So I think we might get a jump ahead and do a May episode this weekend.
Ooh, I like that. It's gonna be the best part is gonna be us trying to call out the number in the show. Episode 4.
I think that if we get, like, we can just put it in an order and just, I've got this dry erase board up here on the wall, and we'll just do the episodes that happen when we're gone. And
hey, we're going to call this one, we're going to call this one, that one.
yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That sounds fair.
It's like, why is it for a month they have not mentioned any current events? Because we're not at now.
The world ends, or like Florida slips into the ocean or something, and Buzzsprout just keeps posting our podcasts.
Yeah. How in the hell did these guys record from Atlantis?
Yeah, it's like the way Chris Farley kept releasing movies after he died.
Too soon. It's been 30 years and it's still too soon.
Yeah, I don't think so. Hey, guess what?
What?
There's a new Malort.
Don't care. Moving on.
Jepson's barrel-aged Malort. There's a barrel-aged version of Malort now.
That poor barrel.
I want to try it. I want to try it.
Knock yourself out.
You
don't even have to do it on the show. Just.
Did you know Jepson's has a bourbon?
God, don't.
They have a regular 90 proof. It's like a regular bourbon.
Okay. I trust you.
Baron Jagger? What? I'm sorry. This is just a shelf of terrible liquor that a friend of mine shot me a photo of.
Yeah.
But
clearly.
yeah, Jepson's barrel aged, $7.50, $28. I'm gonna have to pick a bottle of that up.
So
and then watch you not drink it.
Accurate. It's just they're just calling it bourbon, but it's still just. I think they're gonna be like, Malort has a gin. Why is it dark brown? Shut up and drink it. Okay, so this weekend is. So this the now episode is for April 26th of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
The next released episode is going to be for May 3rd.
Okay.
So we need to make sure that particular episode is, we talk about May the 4th be with you. Because that'll be one day before. But it will be right smack dab in the middle of the May 4th annual Lego event.
Oh.
And so I will prepare a report, the Lego report.
The Lego report. Do you have anything? Is there anything to? Do you know anything now? Usually you send me a list of shit that I have to buy, and hey, go order this, and I'll Venmo you, and blah blah blah. And
well, after last year, I was able to figure out that I can just do separate orders from home.
Yeah.
So I think it was the year before last where I had you do it.
Yeah.
Because you get freebies, and so I have probably 3 orders planned.
3 orders planned.
But I feel like we should save this for the next episode.
That's fine.
I'll do it because I'll have it all up.
You'll have it all up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, this is the order of the things you have to buy and how much it's going to cost you and all the free shit they're going to give you.
Well, it's like we're just going to talk about it. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I have it all figured out. I got all the notes.
Okay. Figure it out.
I need to figure out exactly what my orders are, and I'll talk through what my orders are and why.
What was the rum that we had today at the TA thing?
Oh, I didn't like it. It was a coconut rum. It tasted
was
like
but
Malibu.
What was the name? It was intriguing. It was
We'd had it before, not here. I'd had it out in public before, which in my mind I was like, "Fuck it, I think I've tried that one."
So I actually didn't hate it.
Oh,
it was like Malibu grew up and went to college and then had to drop out and got like a degree from some online university. Rumhaven. Dude, it was Rumhaven rum, splash of Coke. It was refreshing. It was like a coconut mojito style refreshing. Like, I did not hate it. It wasn't a rum and Coke, but it was a drink, and I enjoyed it.
I switched to Guinness, and then I switched to a martini because I just didn't want to have any 2 drinks that made any sense together.
Yeah, it makes sense. Spin the wheel of things that are going to fight later.
Yeah.
In your tummy.
Yeah. There's that.
Yeah.
Hey, something else I want to talk about.
Yeah.
We are coming up. We are just a mere, I don't know, at this point, 6 weeks away from Rum and Nerdy the Weekend. So
that's right. We have some, yeah.
Most everything's planned out. We got our townhouse and everything with the hot tub on the roof. It's going to be fucking fabulous.
Yeah.
A lot of other things going on. We have another person, our friend Michael.
Yep.
Who hasn't been on the show, but I feel like he'd be a great guest.
He would be.
Yeah. He's always into he worked on AI and different stuff, and has his a technology company. That's
His presentation at SATE, what was it, 2022? His AI presentation in Vegas was show-stopping for the conference. It was kind of insane.
Yeah. So really insightful stuff. And sidebar to that, Michael, I was telling him about our desire to we're going to learn 5 songs and gig, and he's like, I'm in. So he wants to also be he and I are guitarist, you're the bass. We're going to 5 songs. I think we're going to wrangle Wendy into playing drums.
Oh, she's going to make us look bad.
As long as she can keep time, then we're fine. But we're going to learn 5, we're going to do this. We're going to learn 5 songs. So we need a TEA band name, and we'll just make TEA let us play it.
A TEA band name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of me just what's your name? Talking, Eating, and Alcohol.
Yeah. I think you could go so much more funny.
Yeah, probably.
We'll come up with something funny.
Yeah. But speaking of, back to the attendees. So most everybody, I think most everybody going to Rum and Nerdy the Weekend has been on the show for the most part, other than Michael.
Yeah.
I don't know that Chuck's officially been.
He has not. Yeah, no, he has not been.
But Dave and Warren and Cheese Mule, you and I. Yeah.
It'll be good. It's gonna be it's gonna basically be a TEA Explorers event.
And Matt
with Cheese Meal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be pretty cool. Now, we were talking about rum names and how important they are within our group, and of course, a few people went a little nuts. Yeah, you tried to give themselves their own name.
You can't go rogue and just dish out rum names. That's not how this works.
The other thing is that the intent was almost hey, we're going to give ourselves names of rum, and those names like Captain Morgan. It's no, that's not the way that works.
No.
So, but Warren, who's been on the show, I'm like, no, I got a perfect name for you. My TIE Fighter. He's also a Lego lover. He's a huge Star Wars nut.
That's fucking amazing.
And then he goes, oh, my grandma's name was so I would be honored. So he is my TIE Fighter.
Love it.
Perfect tie of, tie together, pun, of a rum drink and nerd.
Yeah.
My TIE Fighter. I love it. So but our goal is before we go to
there's
Rum and Nerdy the Weekend, we're gonna have everybody named.
Yeah, there's a handful of them that we need to. Demo Dave. I mean, come on. The fact that he doesn't have a rum name is kind of disappointing.
Well, part of me is Demo Dave is his rum name.
Demo Dave is his name.
Maybe. We'll think about it.
We can do better.
Yeah.
We can do better.
Yeah.
As you think about it, I don't know if we can.
Maybe we can.
That might be it. Yeah.
It's pretty badass. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, any final thoughts on Fallout?
Watch it. Just watch it.
It's great.
It's really good. It was a little more gory than I was expecting. There was
some of it
classic 80s practical effects horror movie gore.
Oh yeah,
we
crushed the guy's head. That was great.
Not expecting that at all. And I don't mind gore, so I enjoyed the gore
as long as it's gratuitous.
I have some friends that flat out would turn the show off and never go back at some of those gore scenes.
The one where he falls off the helicopter and then it shows him hit the blade and just chunk missed.
Yeah.
Some of that was that was pretty fucking cool. Some of it was oh Jesus, why'd you go and do that?
Yeah. Anyway, it was good.
Anyway, late night. We're gonna wrap it up. Start off as we normally do. Let it call it out. Dave Martin.
DemoDavePro.com.
Don't forget to check him out. Also, check us out on our website, rumandnerdy.com. That's rumandnerdy.com.
Social medias, we are at Rum and Nerdy, also A&D.
You can email us at that website at show@rumandnerdy.com. Please reach out. We do love hearing from everybody.
Yeah. And if you disagree with any of the things we said, you're probably wrong, but you should absolutely let us know.
Yeah. Sure. Tell us we're wrong, the people with the microphones.
Yeah, there you go. And if anybody is going to be in Saudi Arabia for the SEA conference, see you there. Meet you at the TEA booth.
Well, you will. I won't.
Yeah, not you.
If you're going to be at SATE Europe in Verona, Italy, then I'll see you there.
I won't, but you will. Yeah.
That's crazy. We are not going to, legitimately, for about a calendar month, we are not going to hang out.
That's funny. It happens every now and then.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
That's a long time.
Although I scheduled a quick boondoggle in Abu Dhabi to go visit SeaWorld. That's on the books.
A little jealous.
I'm going to go do it.
I hear that it's like a cross between all the best things at SeaWorld with the most spectacular aquarium in history.
Yes, that is 100%. 100% what it is. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
A little jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be good.
At the same time, I'm going to Adrenaline for the second time.
Well, there you go. Well,
tickets are booked.
Yeah. Oh, and the day after, is it the day after this airs? Day after this airs. Nights of Destruction at Orlando Speed World. We're going to go to a demolition. Yeah. We're going to go to a demolition derby.
Yeah.
There's figure 8 bus races and cars exploding, and it's a demolition derby. So, you know.
What could go wrong? I can't wait. I've never been to one live.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
I mean, the people watching alone.
Well, and it's not just figure 8 bus races. It's like best car crash stunt.
Yeah.
There's like a whole list of shit.
There's a very long list of shit that's happening at the night. That's why it's not just a demolition derby. It's not just some figure 8 school bus racing. It is a night of destruction.
Yeah. So here we go. Event list: school bus figure 8 race, forward demolition derby, car crash stunt, war off I-4 enduro, roller derby.
Oh, there's a roller derby?
Yeah. Burnout contest, boat and camper trailer race. Those are hilarious.
Those are fantastic.
Flagpole race, skid car race, SXS racing. Don't know what that is. And fireworks.
And fireworks?
Yeah.
Huh.
$40 plus tax.
How many fingers are going to be lost to that fireworks display?
Oh, at least all of them.
I'm not saying Bithlo, Florida has a very high safety record, but
you know the joke name of that.
What?
Bithlo, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah,
because it's like one.
It's one city behind me. Yeah, Christmas. Yeah. For those of you without a map, Christmas, Florida is next to Bithlo, Florida.
Yeah, and that's what will be Saturday. Anyway, that's gonna be fun. Can't wait to talk to you about it all next week. And then apparently record a month of episodes.
There you go.
We might have to get some help.
We'll get some help.
Yeah.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart, I have but one desire. And that one is you. No other will do.
You know, I used to do these things called studies. Well, you couldn't open a newspaper without reading about one study or another. Anyway, this one particular study came out, and it said that torturing a person don't do shit. It made sense. I mean, a man hurts me, I wouldn't want to do him any favors. And yet the practice of torture failed to vanish from this earth. In fact, as time marched on, I personally noticed a decided uptick in the amount of torture being doled out across the board.
Sir, please, I need the head. It's the only way I can get my father back.
My point is, you asked me them studies, I was right. Torturing a person don't do shit.
Then why are you doing this?
Well, I ain't torturing you, sweetheart. I'm using you as bait.